What is up, everyone? Oscar here with a new video, and this is going to be discussing the Washington football team's victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. Washington wins it 17-15, but it really shouldn't have been like that. Honestly speaking, shout out to my guy Jason Alamio, J Sports, for calling what it is. I think I was on his channel last night. Previewing the Raiders game, so I'll put that full interview down in the description below. So y'all can take a look at it. But really, Washington really shouldn't have not won this game. I'm gonna give it straight up. I'm gonna be completely honest. Washington shouldn't have won this game, and here's why. So I'm sitting here at the beginning of the game, and when Taylor Heinicke has a methodical drive downfield, Antonio Gibson is balling out. It just and you get that Logan Thomas touchdown. It's up 7-0. You're feeling yourself, and then the Raiders, you keep on shutting them down. You're like, all right, bet Washington can smack these Raiders. Nope. The Raiders' defense played. They were actually played very well. Better than what I expected. I guarantee you, better than what other people expected. Because I honestly thought that this was going to be a high-scoring game. Altogether. And by the way, I'm not doing the good, the bad, the ugly. This is just going to be a regular video. I'm going to be discussing highlights and stuff like that. So it just, the offense was all bad. Shout out to Brian Johnson, Washington's new kicker, who as of right now isn't on my list. He made his kicks, he made his extra points, he made his field goal, the 49-yard field goal, when I had no faith in him to make that 49-yard kick. I honestly thought that the Raiders were going to come away with a 1-point win. So, Brian Johnson, nice job, man. You actually drilled it, but Ron Rivera, Scott Turner, Jack Del Rio, some questionable play calls, especially on the offensive side. There were certain screens that never developed. There were certain jet sweeps that never developed. Read options. It's just some play calls were head scratchers. In fact, a play call that I'm referring to, the 4th and inches. Riverboat Ron, where were you? Riverboat Ron? It was 4th and inches. You had a new kicker, and you decide to give the ball back to the Raiders with 37 seconds. Now, Washington also, there were some penalties that were key, what's the word? That were momentum shifters. And you decide to kick the field goal, and then Bobby McCain just comes away, holds on to the jersey of I think it was like Hunter Winthrow. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Hunter Winthrow, yeah. And there's no call. So, my thing is, if it's 4th and inches, you have a new kicker, Riverboat Run, you've made a habit, and you decide to give the ball back to the Raiders when you had a chance. They had one timeout left. If you would have gotten the first down, you could have just run the ball with Antonio Gibson, kept on chewing the clock, and you could have, sealed the deal with a victory. But no, you had to give a Hail Mary shot to Derek Carr. So, questionable play calls really almost cost Washington the game. Taylor Heinicke, okay game, whatever. He had 2 touchdown passes, 1 INT, and the interception. That was a bad interception. That was a bad snap. That was a bad play call. I don't know who to blame on that one, but that was a bad play call. Period. Washington, that's where the momentum shifted to the Raiders. Washington was on a march to potentially end the game because it was 14-12, but no, Taylor Heinicke, the bad play leads to an interception, giving the ball back to the Raiders. The defense at least stepped up to just allow a field goal, but still. So yeah. Let me give some game balls. I'm gonna, switch it up from doom and gloom to, at least somewhat some good news, some good stuff. Antonio Gibson, 23 carries, 88 yards. I can't remember what his reception numbers were like, but I know that he got like 23 yards and a touchdown. He got that huge touchdown to give the Washington football team the 14-6 lead. Logan Thomas, before he got hurt, and I'll talk about his injury here in a few moments, caught a touchdown. He was balling out before his injury. Terry McLaurin made big catches. Adam Humphries played okay. DeAndre Carter, what can I say? DeAndre Carter is really balling out. I want Washington to give this guy an extension. Honestly speaking, they need to extend this guy. I really like him. He has stepped in nicely. Curtis Samuel, had limited plays. My thing is the play call where they hand him the football, he trips up. That was a bad play call. Again, Ron Rivera and Scott Turner, that was a bad play call. Granted, he tripped and he had a whole lot of real estate, but still, that was a head scratcher to me. Let me see what else. The offensive line played okay, although Antonio Gibson had a 12-yard run, but that was negated. I think it was like the penultimate drive. When Washington was somewhat driving to close out the game. I can't remember what drive it was, but Keith Ishmael had a holding call. Brandon Sheriff had a really bad holding call. So I just, there were some penalties. This game was ugly. This was a defensive battle. I wasn't expecting it to be that way at all. The secondary got cooked. Again, welcome back, old secondary. It's nice to see you again. Nice to see the defense come back to earth. It's nice to see the defense come back to earth after believing their own hype. Because Hunter Winthrow, DeSean Jackson, really in the second half. Because in the first half, the defense, I'll give credit where credit is due to the defense. So they were solid in the first half, but DeSean Jackson and Hunter Winthrow. And this no-name tight end, his last name is like what was it? Like Foster or something like that. I don't know what his name was. Moreau. There we go, Moreau. He had a big catch that extended a third down drive. Josh Jacobs played solid. Kenyon Drake went down with an injury. He was twisted. He got twisted up like a pretzel, and got hurt. Let me see. Who are the guys that really caused defense problems? Cole Holcomb had a PI call against him. That set up that touchdown, that set up that touchdown to give it the 14-12. To keep to potentially tie the game for the Raiders. Luckily, the defense was able to, step down and just, buckle down and just shut it down there. But still, got to play smarter than that, Cole Holcomb. All I got to say is I'm hoping, because Landon Collins was out with this game. Hopefully, he's back for the Dallas game. This is a testament that Washington really needs Landon Collins back. Because we give the chance to DeSean Everett and Khalil Hudson, and they just play terrible. They play terrible. So, aside from that, let me see what other things can I rant. Aside from the penalties, there were some penalties in Washington's favor, like where the player basically put his weight on Taylor Heinicke. That's inexcusable. You can't be doing that. So it is what it is there. Logan Thomas. Let's get into some of the injury news really, there wasn't a lot of injury news for Washington, but the big one was Logan Thomas, who suffered a knee injury. And it sucks that this guy really cannot catch a break this year. He just came off of a hamstring injury. He was out for 8 games. And this was basically, he was balling out. He got big, he had big time catches today. He caught that touchdown today, that nice one-handed grab, and he goes down with a knee injury. Before that, it was that same drive where Taylor Heinicke threw the interception. So that's a stinger. Hopefully he's okay. But with Ricky Seals-Jones out, John Bass stepped up nicely. He's proving that, he could be a future top tight end for Washington. But, it just really there's no celebrating this win. There really isn't. This is a game where I'm like, how the heck did we win? Like, man. And Raiders fans are probably thinking, how the heck did we lose? The Raiders were looking good in the second half. And I was, and again, shout out to Jason Alamillo, because he was, on his channel, we were just, he was talking about we can't win with field goals. We can't win with field goals. Or he was asking us, can we win with field goals? And I was like, no, gotta score touchdowns. Field goals aren't really, you need to rely on touchdowns. And he literally texted me right when the game ended. He's like, see, field goals are valuable. I'm like, they are valuable, but if the Raiders were able to cash in those field goals for touchdowns, this game would have been a no contest. The Raiders could, if the Raiders probably would have faced Washington in the earlier part of the season when this defense was trash, the Raiders probably would have run away with this one. But they got Washington in December. The defense finally, kind of stepped up. They played okay, aside from, getting burnt in the secondary, but it is what it is. Let me see. What other notes and nuggets did I see here? Like I said, the play calling after the touchdown, really Washington's offense for the rest of the first half just Alexa, stop. Sorry, Alexa, stop. Sorry. My echo. Somehow, even though I didn't say the echo's name, it didn't. It decided to go off. So I'm just, whatever. Washington fans better not be chanting, "We want Dallas." They should be chanting, "We're scared of Dallas." So, if Landon Collins is not active for next week's game, if he's not good to go, Washington defense, have fun trying to contain Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. I don't care if Dallas's offense isn't looking too good. The way Washington is fortunate to get a win in Vegas tonight, and they're probably going to lose to Dallas next week. But I'll discuss that more this week. Some news regarding actually Dallas week. So this week, I may be a special guest again yet with on J Sports, Jason Almeida. I was a guest with him last night, but I could potentially be a guest with him this upcoming week. We had like an off-screen agreement where I would show up for one Dallas week and then he would show up for the next one. So I believe if things have changed, like I said, I'll let you all know. Either follow me on Twitter at OscarJMontiel37 to get any news regarding me joining him on his channel for Dallas week this upcoming week. But alrighty, guys, I guess that'll do it for this video. Let me know what you all thought of Washington's football team's performance. Washington gets the win. They moved their record up to 6-6, but just barely. They are still the 7th seed in the playoff hunt. So it's y'all's turn to rate in the comments down below. Until then, guys, keep it real. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.